Welcome to today's meetup session on text analysis with Azure AI Language Services. This event is hosted by Data Couch, and today we're honored to have our SME, Vishwanatha Swami, as our instructor for the session. Now, let me introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Swami. He is an architect at Applied Information Sciences, a leading provider of software and cloud solutions. Swami is a certified Scrum Master and leads the DevOps team, overseeing Scrum ceremonies, project deliverables, project requirements, scope, duration, and cost definitions. He possesses extensive experience in designing, developing microservices architecture, deploying services in Azure Service Fabric, Docker, Kubernetes clusters, conducting performance testing, and PCI PA DSS certification. Swami has also been recognized as the most valuable professional by Microsoft. We warmly welcome Mr. Swami and look forward to his insights during today's session. Before we begin, let me take a moment to introduce Data Couch. We are leaders in professional service delivery, specializing in generative AI, data engineering, cloud, blockchain, cybersecurity, agile, DevOps, data science-based consulting and implementation and training. Our offerings include consultancy, custom solution implementation, enablement services, and upskilling and training. In addition to our core offerings, we have a priority browser-based virtual lab solution, and we also offer managed services for infrastructure and human capital to meet the requirements of organizations of all sizes and scale. We are excited to share that our global footprint has enabled us to transform the careers of over 200K professionals. Thanks to this growing community of learners, our expertise now spans cutting-edge technologies like Web3, generative AI, big data, DevOps, and cloud, to name just a few, where we continue to push the boundaries of innovation. Highlighting our significant achievements, we have successfully partnered with Fortune 500 companies and global system integrators such as Infosys, Accenture, and TCS, as well as tech giants like Apple, Google, and financial corporations like PayPal and Bank of America, and among others. Driven by our commitment to community and knowledge sharing, we have established 3 specialized meetup groups: AI Minds, Generative AI User Groups, and All Things Data. With the membership exceeding 25,000 plus, our community has participated in over 200 plus such events, covering more than 100 plus diverse technologies and tools. We are honored to announce that Confluent has recognized us as the only global education partner for the years 2022 and 2023. This recognition, received for our second consecutive year, underscores our leadership in providing cutting-edge training and consultancy services on a global scale. As the first training delivery partner for Starburst Data, OneHouse, and Event Store, we are proud to forge and build upon strong partnerships with industry leaders. While some brand names remain confidential, our collaborations include a global beverage and snacks multinational, a premium North American payment solution provider, a cutting-edge cybersecurity and risk management platform, and a retail giant with operations across 5 continents. Now, I would like Mr. Swami to take over the session. Mr. Swami?
Hey, good evening. Thanks. So let me share my screen real quick. Okay, my screen is visible. So good evening, guys. Thanks for joining. And let me give a couple of links before we start and go deep into the weeds. This is my GitHub profile, and all the speaker series, whatever I speak, will be in this folder. So the markdown for today's session is here. and you can see all the folders, the previous sessions. If you want to go, it is marked by month wise. So you can see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So September only one event, October, November, and December. So all the events are marked with the respective dates. And next year, it will be Speaker Series 2025. I just created. There's nothing in here, so I need to start working. Okay. So what is that we are going to do today? Quite a few things we have piled up for today's session. And before that, I need to flash this particular screen. I'm a lifelong learner, still a learner. So I apologize if I do any mistake. If I'm unable to answer any question, I'll be more than happy to say that I don't know this. I'll go back, I'll find out the answer and get back to you in whatever the mode possible, maybe through chat or through the meetups or through my uh, Twitter. Okay, I'm not in Facebook, so Twitter is the best. And please fasten your seatbelt. There's a lot of things we are going to do today. So we'll see that what is that we are going to cover today. So first thing we'll speak about the provisioning of the language resources. There are two different modes. We'll speak about that, and then how can we get started with this language, uh, Azure AI language. So we'll see that. Let's spend 1 minute time. Let it give the control. Okay. AI language. Yeah, this one. In this Microsoft Learning, you'll see that there are quite a few things we will be discussing. But first, let's look at this one particular thing. So we'll see about this. My son wants to appear. I think he appeared for a minute. Okay. So we'll see about how do we interact with this using Language Studio. So we'll spend a decent amount of time on a studio to understand how can we interact and what facilities it gives. We'll see that, and then we will spend some time on the REST API client. That means we'll interact with the analyze text using the uh, REST API. Okay, we'll see that. And third mode is we'll see SDK. How do we interact with the Azure text analysis with the SDK? So we are seeing all the modes except this Docker container mode. It is also possible, uh, but deploy this feature to on-premise using the Docker container. And this Docker container is also possible for us to do this. But at some place I faced issue. Maybe that's long enough. I can't think that it is not working, but it is definitely possible. So I'm parking it for another time. So at least we'll see rest of the three modes. What we'll be able to do: Studio using Postman as well as with the library. So let's come back and start. So the first step is provisioning the resources. So the official documentation is this one: analyze text with Azure analyze text with Azure AI language. So that's the one we are discussing now, and we'll see that quickly. A lot of things are possible: detect language and analyze text sentiment, extract key phrases, entities, linked entities. So what These are, we will see step by step. So here we will see provisioning of resources, provisioning of AI language resources. So that is helping us in a lot of things, but these are some of the items which were mentioned here. Detect language, key phrase extraction, sentiment analysis, named entity recognition, entity linking. So you can see that we give this here. The document image has been given, but if you come and see that even this text, whatever has been written in Tamil, is also considered as document. It has got its own limit of the number of characters. We'll see that in a minute. But this particular word Suprabhat in Hindi, that is also uh, called as a document. Like each of the block over here is considered as a document. We see that it's a documents array. Within that, we have three documents. Okay, so symbolically, that particular text which we are giving as part of the input is being considered as a document. So we are seeing a document image. So these are some of the things which we are seeing. And when it comes to the provisioning of the resources, we'll come back over here. We'll see. So we do have the multi-service account, as well as we can go ahead and create individual account also. So suppose if I come back here, let me click on this, the multi-service account. So there is one difference is when we go and create a multi-service account, the creation of this multi-service account and the individual service account, there will be a little bit difference. We'll see that in a minute. So if you see that in this multi-service account, we have decision, and let's go and specifically see this decision content moderator is there, text, images, or video to verify whether it is within the allowed limits. There's no violence or self harm or crime. And here we have language. This is what very specifically we are targeting for today. And we have speech and vision. We have computer vision, custom vision, face, and the document intelligence. And here it supports the Azure AI service containers. There are a bunch of those. We can look into that. So these are all different things are coming in here. And let's spend 1 minute time to see this individual piece. Okay, anyway, I already uh, created yesterday. So you can see that this is the individual language service. So here the pricing tier, if you look at this, the pricing tier is free. But whereas here the multi-service account, the pricing tier is standard. Okay, that's one difference between both. So let's see that I'm taking this Azure AI services. We are not going to create, but at least from the tier perspective, how it differs. That's what is very important for us. So let me come back over here and I'll say that I want to create something. And I said Azure AI services. Now, when I come back here, Azure AI services, that's multi service account. And I click on this and let's go to the pricing tier. And here you see this whenever we are trying to create a multi-service account. And for that multi-service account, there is only one tier, that is the pricing tier. Let's come back to this marketplace and let's go to language service. This language service. So when I come back to the language service and I click on this, so it's asking what is that you want to do. We can select both. We can select both. So it says these are the things which are available. Now when I come back to the pricing tier, here I already created a free one, and that might be the reason it is not allowing me to uh, allowing me to create. Let's see this. Will it allow? Yeah, it's allowing because in East US I created yesterday. So in the individual service, when we are creating the individual service, we have a benefit to create a free tier of that individual service. So that is the difference between the multi-service account. When we go to multi-service account, the only pricing tier is standard. When we go and create individual services, the pricing tier will be free tier as well as the standard tier. So I think one free tier is allowed per region because yesterday I created East US. When I switch back from Australia to East US, it is not allowing. See this, the free tier resource is already being used by your subscription. In that East US region, I already created one, so it's not allowing me. Suppose if I go to Central India, I will be able to create another free resource. I think free resource is per region. That's what I'm able to understand. So that's one different point which we need to understand whether we want to create a individual service or the multi account service. So individual service, the advantage is we will have the free tier. Okay, that's very important. So that's the first point we discussed. And second point is getting started. As we have seen in the getting started, we have Language Studio, we have REST API, SDK, as well as this container also. Docker container is also supported. And I think that I already discussed in from a different meetup group. I already discussed. It is there somewhere in my speaker series itself. I should be able to find out. We somewhere here, I think it's in S4 or S5. I S5, S6 or S7. So in this case, should be S3. S3, S2. Okay, let me search this. Yeah, this one. So you can see deploy Azure AI services in container, Azure Container Instance, and AKS. I discussed long back in July. It's pretty much possible. The only thing is we need to ensure a few things. It need to pull and can execute it locally. I think I ran the vision. I didn't showcase the text analysis, but so previously I spoke about this, but technically it is the same except the image. What it changes is the image. We can at least spend a minute to find what is the image name. That image name is cognitive services. Oh, no, it's not this. Um, okay, this one. Text analytics language. That's the image name. And here, if you see that cognitive services, it's vision and read, whereas this one is cognitive services, text analytics slash language. That's the difference. But the entire process is here. You guys can go back and look into the session 9 in the speaker series. You'll find how to execute it. Plus or minus, there might be here and there slight changes, but overall, you can use it in your local Docker container, or you can go and deploy to your Azure container instance or deploy to the Kubernetes. So a detailed step-by-step session was already done back in July. So I'm skipping that. So let's go to the next section. So remember this session 9 from Microsoft Reactor. Let me come back to this one. So we have seen these are possible. Four ways are possible. So the other way is Docker container. It's a good point while we are discussing. The fifth method, I mean, the fourth method is Docker containers. I'll just add it. I'll just check in this one also a little later. So now let's spend some time on the language studio. So this is the place where you have to go to play with the language studio. So I'm here in this language studio. Let me close this too. And one important point, in both these things, is that you need to come here in the identity and enable this system assigned identity for both the single service as well as the multi-service account. For both the things, we have this over here. So that will enable us to come and configure or use the this language studio. So that's very important. If not, yesterday I faced problems, so I have to go back and enable because there were two multi-services account. The Central India, I had that identity enabled, but for the US multi-service account, I didn't enable it, so it was not allowing me when I was trying it. So I had to come back and enable that, and also here also for the language service. So after doing that, these are some of the things which it shows as a uh, featured thing like summarization or post call transcription and analytics, document translation. But here you can see that a lot of these things we find. So personally identifiable information or extract key phrases, find linked entities, extract named entities, and all these things are available. And here in the classify text, we will see that analyze sentiment and detect language, custom text translation, custom sentiment analysis. There are a lot of things are there. But if you see this chapter itself, let me come back here. This particular chapter has got eight, I think so. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. So eight units are there. So a lot of things will come in these, but today we will be focusing on detect language and understand the question CLU, and that's one of the chapter over here. If you see that here, conversational language understanding, that's under this. So summarized text should be a separate custom text classification, and summarized text is coming in here, or it could be, yeah, there itself. And next thing is translate text. So the text translation also, we have the text translation, but a different section belongs to different units in this chapter. So we will focus on couple of things over here. Now if you see the detect language, now I come back over here, so it is properly taking this as 0, and we can try some of these things like Chinese, and I just run. Okay, so and then if you see this, the French, it is coming in here. So let me come back and copy this entire block and come back to this one, and I pasted it there and bring in some Hindi word and one Tamil word. Both are same. Suprabhat, Kale Vanakam. Good morning. So here we have French, English, Hindi, and Tamil. So now when I execute this, it brings in English. It tags it as English. So the rules of the game is that, so whichever has got the longer text, that will win. So suppose these two, if I remove these two, in this the longer text is Tamil. So if I submit this particular document, it says that this is Tamil because the biggest text wins. Now, if I remove this English and right now French, Hindi, and Tamil. So let's go and see that it is tagging French as a detected language in this one. So now if I have French, English, Hindi, and Tamil, so the English content is larger. So it has recognized the larger content as the language of this particular document. That's the rules of the game. So this is about how we can go ahead and do this. Okay, that's one important thing. So the next thing is that's about we saw this one how to play. We'll see something else also in the studio. I'll come back to the studio now. Go back to the studio and extract information, find linked entities. Okay, so in this, for this linked entities, this one, uh, if we see this, we'll come back over here and I'll give this. I saw Venus shining in the sky and we'll execute it. Now it identified the Venus as a linked entity. Now here we are speaking about the planet. So you can see that link. It's pointing to a Wikipedia. This one link. Now when we come back over here, now at this point of time, see this. This is what it is pointing to. This Wikipedia. Let's see that. We'll come back to this. It is Venus. You're seeing that linked entity is Venus. So let's come back and click on this. So it shows about this planet. Okay. So now if I go, there are two things. If I go Venus, the goddess of beauty. So this is, we are speaking about the mythological thing. We'll come back over here. This is, we are speaking about the goddess. So when we extract this one, see, somewhere this is wrong. So when we extract this one, it should go to this mythology one. So even though the term Venus is same, but it is used as a different thing. So let's see, let's cut and paste this one. Let me come back to this. For some reason, let's cut and paste this and let's try whether it is giving a proper. So see this. Now it's going to the Venus. See this, it's exactly coming to the mythology. Even though the link it doesn't show, but it shows like Venus, but internally you can see at the bottom in the status here in the status bar, you can see that Venus underscore mythology it is coming. So I saw Taj Mahal today. I think I can spell it properly. So see this. When I say that Taj Mahal, it is it's understanding that it is a Taj Mahal monument. Now Hotel Taj. We'll see this. I went to Taj today. So now here I'm confusing it. So I'm not giving a proper information like Hotel Taj or Taj Mahal monument. So giving it a proper information, Mahal. So giving it a proper information, what it does is it goes and looks into the wiki and gets a proper this one. Let's see that hotel Taj. It's like this. Uh, Taj Mahal Palace Hotel. So let's come back and let's tell that I went. I went to Taj Mahal Palace Hotel today and had great lunch. So now let's run this. See that? Exactly. It picks up that Wikipedia link and it backs it up with the content. That's the named entity. Like this, we can use this language studio to practice a lot of those things and know the muscle power of what this AI services can do. I think this is a decent uh, exposure or exploration. We did it on two different things. Detect language. We saw that it is able to detect multiple languages, and the biggest content wins. That means if you have multiple or a mixed language, and whatever the number of characters are more, whichever the language it is, it marks the entire document as that. That means it is coming as a single block. You see that difference. Here I'm showing this document is I'm giving single language. This document I'm giving single language. But this document I'm giving multi-language. So in this scenario where a single document has got multiple languages, at the time we see the larger content wins. So that's about the language studio. Now we see the Postman. Okay, so I'm creating this collection. I'll post it later. The AI preparation. Here you see this. We have the language service which is pointing to this, and from the parameters perspective, it's you're passing this API version 230401, and in the header we need to pass the OPM subscription. If I do this and send it, so you'll get the permission denied because I didn't pass this. I mean, the variable is here, but the header value should be there. So now if you send the header value, it will come. And here we can see that we will be able to pass a single document or multiple documents. Now if I select this, even the single document works, or I can go ahead and send the multiple documents. Now let's go back to that language studio for a minute because there are a couple of text which we can use it. So one thing is this Chinese. Let me take this and add the fourth block. So the language is this one. That's the fourth block. This is the fifth block. I will go and get some French. Bonjour. That's the fifth one. Okay. So now we are passing 5 different documents. I think there should be some limit on the number of documents. Let's see that. The first one is Tamil, this document. The second one is Hindi. It's taking it as Marathi. Okay. And now a mixed language, but the larger number of characters is Tamil, so it's marking it as Tamil. So Chinese simplified, that's the fourth text document which you've given, that's Chinese. It was able to identify. And the fifth one is French, is this one. And the sixth one, let's have, I think if I remove this entirely, we remove this entirely, the sixth one, it says English. And if I add this entirely, that's Spanish. So it was English and Spanish, and we can add French to the mix here, and now execute it. So we'll see that, oh, the French characters are more. Ah, okay. So the biggest one wins. So here you can see that this was French, and this was Spanish. I don't know how it tagged it as French as the largest number. I don't know how they are calculating, but they're calculating. So we'll stick to their results. So the rules of the game, we know that the largest content wins. So that's about the Postman and the Studio. We have seen these two options. Now let's use the Azure SDK. So here is the solution. I mean, whatever the solution is based on official Microsoft's samples. It's not my idea. I took their code and modified it a little, but it's all the samples, including this sample content or reviews. Everything is from the Microsoft's official AI one. Okay, only thing is I am consolidating in a way where I'll be able to present it in different place. So all the OpenAI, the sixth chapter, I'm using it here, and this is the third chapter. And first and second, I'll create it because this is the new repo which I created for the AI. So I'm learning and I'm creating it, so it will be useful for all. So one thing we can see, the a strongly typed configuration kind of thing. I just created a class, and there we will see that I have a couple of extensions. One is host extensions, and this one is reading the app settings as well as the user secrets. So if you go and see inside this project, I'm using the user secrets. So that's what I just created a reusable component because I have to use the same lines, the configuration, the application extensions, and the host extensions. I need to use it time and again. So what it does first thing is it gets this configuration, loads the configuration from app settings and the secrets.json, and then it binds the app settings here, whatever the configuration which we give there, it binds that to this particular strongly typed class. It binds it, and we are loading that as a singleton, and then we are calling the services collection dot configure services. That is here the app extension. So where we are loading the header and footer component. It's very simple. These are reusable. So now the advantage is for all these 6 chapters of the syllabus over here, if you see that. So I have one solution, one project CS project for this, and one I'm creating right now. I started this. So what I can do is each of this chapter, I can have one CS proj, and I can reuse the same configuration in this all 6 places. So um, try to not repeat yourself. Okay, so we created that. Now if you see the app post configuration, it's coming in from the dependencies that's coming in from this common, and that's one thing. Here you can see, and the header and footer is there, and here within the services we are creating this one. So we create the key credentials and the URI endpoint, and then the text analytics client. So the URI endpoint is this one, pretty similar. Okay, your endpoint is this, the first piece, and then you can see that all the reviews we have kept under source data text analytics review. Source data text analytics review. So inside this there are reviews. So we have given the path of these reviews. So these reviews are in different language. So this is in French and English. I think this is English. This is English. This is English. Okay. So four English and one in French. So the next thing what we are doing is we are traversing through these files, and what I will do is I'll block this code for the time being, and let's execute this. And we'll come back and we'll go through step by step over this detect language. Now we see it is going through all five of those review files. Okay. So the next thing what we will look at is the detect language, which we have already seen to a decent extent. We will be able to pass the multiple documents. I mean, each of the text is called as a document, and we can give the country hint also to improve the prediction whether Spanish will be spoken in multiple languages, like there'll be Mexican Spanish or different kind of Spanish flavors. So giving the country hint will give a proper or improvised predictions. And another thing is we have seen that uh, mixed languages, we have seen that the content whichever has got more. Here you see that analysis use statistical analysis of the text to determine the predominant language. So it uses the statistical thing to check that. Here you can see that the same text, I think we have seen, it's a mix of English and Spanish. When we added French, it tagged it as a French. Okay, and somewhere we tried to confuse it, it gives us unknown. So what we will do is we'll come back over here. We have seen that language studio, and we have also seen using Postman. Now we are seeing with SDK. So here we are seeing creating that uh, detect language async, and we are passing this text whatever uh, which is available here, and it prints the language. Let's see. Okay, so that's the output for this call. Let's do a quick watch on this. You see the confidence score is 1. That means it's 100% sure on that. And there are no warnings. It's English. The international code is EN. I just wanted to show the output variable. Now, you see English, English, and this one is French. So that's the detect language. extract key phrases. So again, the rules is 5120 characters limit, and it extracts the key over here. Okay, so let's go and extract the key phrases. I'll unblock this code, and again, yes, we see this. Here are the phrases, and we are traversing through the phrases and displaying it. Let's execute this and see. So you're seeing that it's extracting the key phrases in this. So plenty fish, kitchen, lounge. So a lot of these things it is extracting. So the next is analyze the sentiment. Okay. So this one important thing is if all the sentiments are neutral, then overall sentiment is neutral. So if it is a combination of positive and neutral, the positive, the overall sentiment will be tagged as positive. Similarly, if it is a combination of negative and neutral, overall is negative. If there is a positive and negative, overall sentiment is mixed. So that is what these are four rules of the game we need to understand. So let's see the sentiment analysis. For all these things, we are using the reviews which are targeted over here. You can see that this is positive, this is mixed, and this is mixed, and this is negative, and this is positive. So which one is mixed? Let's see that. The third one. Okay, third one, what is this say? We stayed in August. After reading the reviews, we were pleased with the location behind so and so. Uh, Only downside. Okay. So he's here. They're saying a positive and little bit of negative. So that's the reason. Um, Here also they're saying a little bit of positive and little bit of negative. So we see here also saying that barely had some space to fit them. So again, the reviews are positive and negative, and we saw in the rules of the game when we have both positive and negative, it will be tagged as mixed. So here, extract entities. So person, location, date, time, organization, address, email, and URL. So when the case is like maybe the legal case where some person has been made accused and his name is coming in a 40 pages document at different places, or in a professional document, or in a resume you want to find out their email address, or their company URL, or whatever the URL they have given in a resume, uh, or in a hundreds of resume, it will be easy to use this kind of thing, send each resume content as part of the document and extract this. That's or patient's information, or within the legal document, or within the browser, whatever we want to extract it. Those are some of the use cases which we can use it. Now you can see that it is extracting. Here it extracted the entities, and here if we go to the entities, here entity text, entity category. So let's go to the, I want to show something here in this category. So that's the entity category. So there are different types. Category is person, person type. So those two are different. Okay. So location, organization, event. So something historical or social or natural occurring events, and product, skill set, date, time, phone number. I was giving one of this example like IP address and address or quantity. So there are quite a few types which we have it. Now imagine a scenario: there is a research paper on historical events or something. You specifically want to extract the events what happened between 5,000 years and 6,000 years. So you can give the document content and filter only based on the entity category of event. We are not concerned about the person or person type, but we want to know that what all the events which has happened in those 1,000 years. So we have a huge document. So give it, chunk it, and give it step by step, and filter it only by the events. Get all those things, store it. Something of that use case which we can use it. And sixth one
Swami,
is
Swami, there's
correct.
a question in the chat. I Can you take that?
Oh, I will address because this is the last block. We'll complete this and we will go directly, and we can close the page. This is one piece. I'll come back. Huh? Just 1 minute.
Sure, sure.
So here the linked entities, as we have seen that the linked entities we played in the language studio. So when we are naming something, uh, like Taj Mahal, it went and picked up the monument and it gave the wiki. So the linked between that is wiki. So if you see that, it goes and gets directly from the wiki and it tags it. Now, if you give specifically Amitabh Bachchan or Abhishek Bachchan, it might go and pick up the wiki entity and tag it as a linked entity. But if you give Mr. Bachchan, so whom you are addressing, I don't know, it might get confused. I'm assuming I didn't try that, but based on what it is giving, I'm thinking that that's what it do. It should. I don't know, but again, how this artificial intelligence will behave. So we'll see. So the linked entities here, the Venus is mythological. Here again, you see that those hotels and all those things, British museums, everything, it's tagging like hotel. Again, it's directly going to Wikipedia and tagging that. And here also we see that different things, United Nations and hotel, and I think the French. It's a French version, I assume. This one. Let me copy this. I'm a little curious. Let me stop and we'll see what is that this is displaying, and then we'll go back to the Q&A. Oh, okay. I think this is pointing to French. Oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, so let me come back to this one, and the message. I am okay. There are a couple of questions. 1 second, let me find out. Where is that? Okay. When it is, I think it's Ahmad's query, isn't it? When it is mixed, can it give the split percentage wise? Okay, that's cool. Mm, I think it says that Ahmad, it says that it's going to give the mixed kind of thing. But uh, based on uh, whatever I learned, and I'm thinking, that's a good point. I think there should be a way the percentage. I mean, I don't want to blabber something, but how can I mean, this is my query. I'm just thinking little out of the box, Samuel. See, you gave 4 points. Out of that, 3 points are you given positive, but on the negative point, you were little harsh on the higher side of harsh. So if you see from the weightage perspective, you gave 3 positive points, but the negative you were little harsh on that. So from my perspective, this negative will carry more percentage. But I don't, at least I don't remember anything which it does. But it says that the review is a mixed. From the percentage wise, it is little. um I think you have to fine tune, or you have to define how can you say this particular piece carries 20% or 30%, because again the tone and other things, how harsh the review is. So based on that we can tag it, but we don't have any such thing, as far as I know. I don't remember, or I did not come across that till now. Okay, so I think we don't have any further queries. So we can call it a week, and happy new year, guys. I think this is the last session for year 2024, and stay safe, enjoy. Oh, you're on mute, Siddhant.
Thank you. Thank you, Swami. Thank you for the lovely session. So, before we conclude, I kindly ask everyone to take a moment to complete the feedback form shared in the chat. Your feedback is invaluable to us in helping us enhance future sessions. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Swami for delivering such an informative session today. I trust that you found the insights as valuable as I did. For those who missed any part of the session or wish to revisit the material for today's session, a recording will be available on DataCouch's YouTube channel. A link of the recording will be shared on our social media channels in our monthly newsletter. If you have any further questions or you would like to explore additional resources, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@datacouch.io. To stay updated on our upcoming sessions and access more valuable content, please subscribe to our social media channels and join our meetup groups. The relevant links are available in the chat. Thank you for your participation today. We look forward to welcoming you to our next event. Wishing you all a wonderful rest of the day and or evening and a great weekend and a very merry Christmas to everyone and a happy new year. Thank you,
Good night,
Swami.
folks. Thanks.